Munster Hurling final day, yes, one of the sporting occasions of the Irish sporting year. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to sun-drenched Páirc Uí Chaoimh for Tipperary against Waterford, the 1989 Munster Hurling final. It's a very special occasion, not just because it's the first time that we're able to bring you the entire match live on television, but it also happens to be the 100th Munster Hurling final. So a really special occasion, one we're delighted to be associated with. Well, Tip fans, of course, wondering whether they can complete the 3 in a row for the first time since the early 60s. And Waterford fans wondering whether their team can lift the trophy for the first time in 26 years. This 1963, the last time a team from the Dacia won the trophy, and their opponents that day, as today, Tipperary. So a really special occasion in the offing here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. And now we invite you to settle back, relax and enjoy the match with us. And before we do so, just a word about this trophy here. I wonder, will it be Bobby Ryan or Shane Ahern who'll be taking this trophy home at about 5 minutes past 5? And I wonder how many of you know the actual name of the Munster Hurling Championship trophy. We'll tell you a little bit more about that a little later on. So let's settle back now and relax and enjoy the afternoon. And a super crowd, as you'll gather here. About 30,000, maybe 35,000, really sun-drenched conditions. And they've been building up here, the crowds outside the stadium from early morning. The gates were opened around 11:30, and I can tell you all the access roads in towards Páirc Uí Chaoimh absolutely packed with cars. Tremendous support from Tipperary and from Waterford, and they've come here from every part of Munster, because of course in the minor match Clare and Limerick were involved, and the news there you may gather from our opening caption: Clare have won the title in a terrific Munster minor final. They won the match by a point, 213 to 212. Well, I suppose as we turn to the senior match now, the surprise team here in the Munster Championship so far just has to be Waterford. And John Murphy, a well-known journalist with the Cork Examiner based in Waterford, has been telling me about the county's build-up to the final. What's the atmosphere been like over the last week or so?
The atmosphere in Waterford, Ger, has been quite electric. Waterford involvement in the Munster final is basically a rare thing, and when it comes about every so often, well, the county just becomes totally involved in it. But this time I have never seen such a remarkable upsurge of interest. It has brought fresh enthusiasm to everybody, and really they're looking forward to today's final immensely.
A little bit of pride and joy has come back to the great loyal followers of hurling in Waterford.
Absolutely. The county has been in the doldrums for so long. This new rejuvenated side has done far better than anybody could have possibly anticipated at the outset of the championship campaign. I think just to have qualified for today's final is quite an achievement in itself. Yes, indeed, as pride has been restored to the Dacians.
In fact, as you intimate there, they really are the surprise package of this year's Munster Championship. Very few expected them to get through against Clare. They didn't think they'd get through against Cork, and they were certainly going to be beaten in the replay, but they got through each one of those hurdles.
That's right, and that has been brought about through a combination of factors. Sheer commitment. I've never seen as committed and as dedicated a Waterford side, allied, let me say, to no little skill. And I think that the analysis of their semi-final victory over Cork has been a little unfair to Waterford. They said they defeated a poor Cork side. Perhaps they defeated a Cork side that wasn't nearly as good as previous Cork teams, but at the same time they recovered from a 6-point deficit and won in style, and won far more convincingly than the 2-point margin would suggest.
Today they're rank outsiders. They're up against a very good Tipperary team.
They're up against arguably, they certainly themselves and Tip and Galway are undoubtedly the two best sides in the country. Tipperary entered the fray as favourites, and very justifiably so, but Waterford absolutely thrive on being the underdogs, and I think they're going in today with an attitude of we have very little to lose and everything in the world to gain, and I anticipate that they will do the county proud this afternoon.
John Murphy, thanks very much indeed. John, we'll let you get back to your seat in the stand now and take your place among those Waterford fans there, full of hope and expectation, of course, that they can win their 6th title here this afternoon. Well, I'm delighted to have Donal O'Grady with me this afternoon, keeping a watching brief, and he's down there in the centre of the park at the moment, and it's absolutely a sun-drenched Páirc Uí Chaoimh, as you'll gather. What are the conditions like down there, Donal?
Well, sure, the conditions are near perfect for hurling, really. There's a light breeze now blowing from the Blackrock end up the field, but I think that will be a great sign for the players, really, because talking to the referee at half-time in the minor match, he felt it was extremely warm, very warm on the feet, very warm all over, and I think that the light breeze won't affect the hurling in any way, and I think conditions are perfect.
Humidity is obviously going to be a factor then.
Well, the thing is, the wind is blowing up a little bit, but once the game starts, I think it's not going to affect the flight of the ball anyway. So I think that the whole atmosphere is building up around me now, as you can hear, and The whole crowd here, Stephen Hill now sitting on the right-hand side, the Tipperary supporters, Waterford supporters in great voice. There's a great buzz and a great atmosphere around the field.
Yes, it really is a spectacularly colourful occasion, and I can see the huge Sliabh na Mon flag. You can see it up there to your right as we see you there, Donal. They bring colour wherever they go, the Tipperary fans, and of course longing for another big Munster success. There they are, the people from Ardfinnan.
Well, from early morning, Ger, I came down early, and the whole throng around the city, Waterford and Tip, there was a great atmosphere. They were really coming to enjoy themselves, and you can see up there, it's all good humoured stuff. We're about a half an hour into the game, before the game, and I think it's going to be a cracker of a first half anyway, because the atmosphere, I think, will lift the players.
The pressure is on Tip, of course, as well.
Well, there's great pressure on Tip. It's their third Munster Championship final. Their supporters are demanding that they win not alone the Munster final, but the All-Ireland. Waterford are coming probably with nothing to lose here. All they have to do really is take the field and hope for the best. Nobody will be surprised if they're beaten and well beaten. So really, it's a case of Waterford coming, nothing to lose, Tip having everything to lose.
Certainly is. Well, it's the first time we've had the privilege of televising the Munster final live. Michael Maher is the chairman of the Munster Council. He's been outlining the thinking behind the move this year.
The Munster final in hurling, needless to say, is a very particular event for all hurling followers, even in Connacht, Ulster and Leinster and right through Munster. And we understand and we know there are a lot of people there who would like to be at this game, but they cannot for very good reasons. Maybe too young or too old, maybe not able to get away because of ill health, or for the very reasonable fact of the expense of getting here. So we, after some consideration, are very glad to be able to have it on for them live on TV, so that they can enter into the full spirit of the game and enjoy the thrills and spills and the excitement of it, and anything else that goes with it.
Of course, you have to take a very neutral stance today, but you are an ex-Tipperary hurler. I'd like to take you back about 30 years. Do you recall the 59 semi-final here against Waterford, when Waterford came and beat you by something like 9-3 to 3-4 and got 8 goals in the first half?
I recall it very, very well. I hardly ever forget it. It was one of those days, in my opinion, which was a complete surprise at the time. But nevertheless, it happened. And Waterford were excellent on that.
What was the story? There was the gale force wind.
There was a gale force wind, and we decided to play with the wind. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it wasn't. Maybe on the day Waterford would have beaten us anyway. But they did beat us, and we had a very good team at the time. But Waterford themselves turned out to be very fine players, and they went on to win an All-Ireland that year.
Well, it's the first time it's live on television. Of course, it's been live on radio for many, many, many years, and Michael O'Hare has been somebody who's been instrumental and part and parcel of that the whole time.
Yeah. It has indeed, but for the real feeling, I suppose 75% of the people will still want to be at the game, to get the real atmosphere both before the game, during the game and after the game. But I would like to indeed to pay a great tribute to Micheál O'Hare for what he has brought to us in live commentary over the years. And if he's listening to, looking in today, I would send to him from Páirc Uí Chaoimh the deepest and sincerest wishes which we could have for him, that he would enjoy this afternoon with us.
And so say all of us. Michael Maher, well done, thank you very much indeed. So Michael is making his way back into the stand here. Tipperary with 33 Munster Championship wins, Waterford with only 5, and this the 5th ever Tip-Waterford final. Plenty of expectation, plenty of drama in store in the centenary Munster Hurling final. We'll be right back after this break. This decade, and there is a terrific ovation for the side, led out. Well, they've languished in the doldrums for a long time, the side from the Dacia County, but they are very loyal supporters of this team, and a side that many people predict could really put it up to Tip this afternoon. There's Kieran Delahunty there, who made his championship debut when coming on as a sub against Tip here in 1983, and he's been the side's usual free taker. In that particular championship match, of course, played here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, Waterford won and went on to the Munster final. So we'll take a check then on the Waterford side, and the challenge headed by their team captain, the number 12 there, Shane Ahern, who moves across to left half forward in a line which also includes big Liam O'Connor, better known up to now as a half back. Pat Ryan in his 10th championship season is at left half back, while Noel Crowley continues in midfield in spite of all those injury doubts, and that was the big news, that Crowley could play. Noel Crowley the unanimous choice for man of the match in Thurles 2 weeks ago in the replay against Cork. He contributed 6 points then, 4 of them were on the trot, and 1 was from over 80 metres out. He's going to have quite a battle at midfield. That's Pat Ryan we saw there just for a moment, the senior player in this Waterford side. That's the number 12, Shane Ahern, superbly skillful and a fine leader in attack, where his steely determination is always capable, I think, of lifting morale whenever it's sagging somewhat. So a player from the Mount Sion club, 4 of them on this Waterford team this afternoon. One of the great clubs in County Waterford, of course. And they make their way across, and I'm sure if this Waterford side produces the surprise of the year, nay, probably the surprise of the decade, they'll be on the front page of the Waterford News and Star, just as they were this week, incidentally. How they'd love to win their 6th Munster title. So a very proud moment for Tony Mansfield, the manager of this side, who took over the team 3 years ago, and his fellow selectors, Ollie Wilkinson and Phil Fanning. They've done a really fine job, because Waterford, since that last win in the championship over Tipperary, which was here in 1983, they were eliminated in every one of the next 5 years of Munster Championship matches in the very first round, and indeed they went down, as you know, to Division 3 of the league, and their fortunes really did take a dip. So it's good to see them back, and I know that nobody really in Munster or anywhere else begrudges them their place in the sun, literally, here this afternoon in the Munster final. Says it must be Tipperary. The Waterford bench down there, I hope, and I'm sure will be thinking it's not going to be thus. Willie Horgan, the match referee, Tip playing from right to left. So the 100th Munster Hurling final gets underway, and it's Declan Ryan straight away trying to set up the first attack with Michael Cleary over there, and that ball beating the forwards out over the sideline. Line ball for Waterford. Jimmy Beresford going back to take this. Played in the early rounds of the championship at right half back. Well cut down into the middle towards Prendergast. Colin Bonner across to the other wing towards Nicky English, a first chance to make an impression. Peter Welch's marker. High up into the air from Nicky English. That looks on its way, and it's over the bar. The opening score comes after 42 seconds. Nicky English with the opening point for Tipperary. Well, he really is one of the great stylists of modern-day hurling. Jimmy Power, the goalkeeper, with the puck out for Waterford. Noel Crowley hoping that he really has recovered full fitness at midfield. Joe Hayes setting it forward for Tipperary towards Nicky. There's a collision there, and they've gone down injured, Timmy Sheehan and Nicky English. Play continues in the middle as it's played forward by Ger Fitzpatrick. Declan Ryan. English is still down injured, I can tell you all this while. Pat Fox. Attention coming in for Nicky English. This is Pat Fox. Goal and 5 against Limerick the last day. A little chip into the centre, and it's wide. But the real serious story is Nicky English down injured at the moment, following an accidental collision, as I saw it, with Timmy Sheehan, the tallow man. Willie Horgan holding up the play, and it was Sheehan who went in there. They went in strong and hard, but it really was a completely accidental collision, and English hit the ground with Sheehan rather hard. That's Timmy Sheehan there getting some attention. He's able to continue. But it's not looking too good for Tip's Nicky English, looking a little bit shaken right now. Up on his seat at least, and hopefully able to take his place. And the big cheer greeting him as he retakes his place at top of the left. And acknowledging there with Timmy Sheehan, has said sorry about that, realising it was all an accident. So point to no score, Tipperary the leaders. Bobby Ryan to Colin Bonner, half hit towards John Lahey. Further away towards Nicky English. Now let's see if he's recovered. Well, he sprinted for it well, but couldn't quite keep it in play. Peter Welch to take the sideline ball. Trying to set up Waterford's first score. That's Paddy Prendergast, stopped by Declan Ryan. And the youngster gets it forward for Tipperary towards Pat Fox. Cormac Bonner making a run out there as well. Damien Byrne, the fullback, beaten for it. It breaks inside to Pat Fox. Looking for the second Tipperary score. A high shot, and it's over the bar from Fox. The two corner forwards then for Tipperary. Both get their scores, both coming from play. So that's a really good start then for Tipperary, and any doubts they may have had about getting off to a rickety start certainly evaporating fairly quickly in this game. Colin Bonner again trying to apply the pressure with Conall Bonner. Shane Ahern fouled as he was taking it forward. Free to Waterford, a chance for them to set up their first attack right on the 65-metre line. Willie Horgan, a referee who likes to keep the game going as much flow as at all possible. Noel Crowley passed a fitness test on Friday night. Hit two very good 65s in the last match against Cork. Referee's going in to have a word with one of his umpires. Possibly an incident that happened inside there, and John Heffernan's been called across. Heffernan's been called across. Something happened down there, and the referee must have seen it out of the corner of his eye, and Heffernan's name is taken. I wonder, will Kieran Delahunty's name be going in as well? He's the number 15 there near the referee. So the referee standing and taking no nonsense whatsoever. So one booking, nearly 5 minutes gone. Tip 2 points ahead. No Crowley. It looks a good one. It tails away at the last moment to the right-hand side. Waterford's first wide. So it's 2 points to nil. Ken Hogan. The subs looking on. Cody Prendergast battling with Declan Ryan. Noel Crowley, a fresh air pump. Colin Bonner applying pressure. This is Joe Hayes rolling alongside towards Cormac Bonner. Runs through the full-back step. Power coming out. Good clearance effectively to midfield towards Cody Prendergast. Waterford still to settle down in this match. Good delivery from Prendergast. That's gone right in there towards Pat Murphy, the full forward. Out comes Conor O'Donovan. Looking to make an impressive start in this game, and doing so. Jeff Fitzpatrick unable to get it in. Cormac Bonner trying to get it over his head into the inside forwards. Damien Byrne standing on ceremony, gets it out as far as Joe Hayes, today playing on the 40. That's blocked down by Jeff Fitzpatrick. Hayes once again taking the shoulder with comfort. Players unmarked inside. This is Cormac Bonner, was going to hit it, so he was totally unmarked. Tried to engineer a better score. Nicky English, the chance might go a begging yet, and that's been the case. John Lahey, the one who misses it. But Cormac Bonner was through that time. He was going to hit it the first time, and then he realised there was nobody on him, so he tried to get it in a little further. Jimmy Power's puck out for Waterford. Still to get a score on the scoreboard. Paul Delaney falters down there with Cody Prendergast. This is Lahey. Only as far as Timmy Sheehan, and a late foul there on John Lahey. It'll be a free, I think, from where the ball lands, and the referee is calling across Liam O'Connor, and the referee has the notebook out again for that foul on Lahey. Liam O'Connor is the player who's booked. That's two players booked in the match so far, a player from each side. . Paul Delaney has taken the free. Pat Fox racing across for it, looking very sharp and incisive, and the referee's whistle has sounded, and he blew the whistle before that ball had travelled on its way over the bar, and it's going to be a free in for Tipperary. They're making all the early running. Pat McGrath, of course, has been replaced as free taker in this Tip side, so it's English who takes over, and he nonchalantly pops it over the bar for his own second point of the match, the first from a free, and it's Tipperary 3 points, Waterford no score. A black situation for Waterford so far, looking a little hesitant, it seems to me, standing back a bit much and giving Babs Teeting's side a chance to seize the initiative. Damien Byrne is taking over the packing out duties. That's strange enough in modern day hurling. Colin Bonner through the centre towards Cormac Bonner. He's getting there ahead of the full-back, and this is really ominous from the Waterford point of view. Now a chance to set up a score for Nicky English. That overhit that one. A second error by Cormac Bonner in this match so far. Might have scored a little earlier and really should have done better with that pass inside to English. The stats on the 30-year-old, who certainly made a huge impression when coming in at half-time in the Munster final last year against Cork and Limerick. To pick up a hand injury that time. Jimmy Parr has been busy with the puck outs so far. Tip with 3 wides to date, but 3 points as well. Shane Ahern. Tip reckon he might well be a real danger. I haven't seen too much of the action so far. Didn't really hit that one all that well. Paul Delaney, this is Bobby Ryan, the great-hearted central defender. Cody Prendergast has put it over the bar. Waterford's first score greeted by a huge cheer from the Waterford fans. The Ballyduff man gives them their opening score. Replaced in the win the last day over Cork, but he really did well when I saw him play in the drawn match, 18 points apiece a month back. Joe Fitzpatrick again, centre-half back, ex-Kilkenny under-21 player. That's touched down towards Conal Bonner on his left-hand side, across towards John Lahey. Nicky English overreaches that time. Lahey gets into the breach, trying to steal inside the cover there of Timmy Sheehan and Peter Welch. Back to English. Paddy Prendergast applying some pressure. It's come out towards Qualter. This is Paul Delaney. A pile-up down there. Big stalemate situation. Peter Welch. Intended for Billy Sullivan, but it reaches Liam O'Connor instead. The tall man at centre-half puts that one high, and it's over the bar. There's just a point between the teams. In a twinkle, Waterford have scored 2 points, and they're right back into the match. So 10 minutes gone, and Liam O'Connor, the scorer, taking off the helmet in the very hot and humid conditions. Ken Hogan's puck out. Little or no breeze about to really influence matters too much. Claims that it might have been a Waterford ball, and Terence Murray over there, the linesman, signalling that it's going to be a linesman's ball. I think he's going to throw it in between 2 players. Michael Cleary contesting with Pat Ryan. A wild swing that time, and the referee is calling back one of the Waterford men, Pat Ryan, and he's taking his name. Donal O'Grady, how do you see it so far?
Well, really, Ger, I thought that Waterford half forward line weren't playing enough the ball directly. They were blocking the balls that came out from the puck outs, and they were setting up for Tip. Tip half back, they were hurling well, but unfortunately, Bobby Ryan, just centre back, who was having a stormer up to then, has picked up a knee injury and has gone back left corner back.
We'll follow that with interest as that ball comes into the goalkeeper's arms, and Parr makes a good save. That's Bobby Ryan, whom Donal was talking about a moment ago, now operating back at cornerback, clearly with a knee injury, and he's marking Billy Sullivan back there. And Sullivan's one of the paciest players, by the way, on the Waterford team if they can get him away. Still no move of a change, however, in the dugout. Declan Ryan cutting it across towards Pat Fox again. It drops down. Jimmy Beresford making it secure, however, to midfield. Conal Bonner back in towards Nicky English. So sharp, so effective. And to illustrate that, he taps it over the bar for his 3rd point of the match, stretching Tipperary's lead just when Waterford had brought themselves to within a point. So So the fans there with the hats and the hankies on their heads just to try and ensure that there's no sunburn. Babs Keating's gone behind the goal back there, as you see. Jimmy Powers puck out for Waterford, 2 points adrift. Touchdown by John Heffernan. Declan Ryan up towards Pat Fox again, and the Tipperary inside forwards seeing a lot of the action so far, getting a good service from their half-backs. This is Beresford with a hand pass towards Noel Crowley. Fouled as he was playing that ball away, and it's a free from where the ball lands once again, which is right in the middle of the field, about 10 yards in from the far sideline. That's Jimmy Beresford, the man who made that pass inside. Noel Crowley from outside the 65-metre line, another huge one, but again dropping to the right, and again it tails away. Waterford's second wide. He's had both of those wides, the midfielder. Bobby Ryan, I can tell you, has now gone back after his period of adjustment back in the corner-back position. He's gone back to centre-half back, where he is marking Liam O'Connor. Declan Ryan can't hold on to it. Paudie Prendergast trying to get more into the game at midfield. Here's Bobby Ryan to test the injured knee, and he really was closed down very quickly by Liam O'Connor. He'll have to be very careful. He's been booked already in this match. Another indiscretion, and Willie Hogan will remind him of that fact, and he would be off. Paul Delaney towards John Lahey. Nicky English trying to hold on to it, 45 metres out from goal, again linking up with Fox, the old combination that runs loose, and Beresford closes it down quickly, but Conall Bonner has read the danger signals, coming up from right half back, brought down by Noel Crowley the first time, but he recovers. There's support there if he needs it. Colin Bonner's available. The sideline was far too near, however. That's going to be a Waterford ball. 14 minutes gone in the first half, and a reminder of the score in case you've joined us late. It's Tipperary 4 points, Waterford 2 points in what is the 100th Munster Hurling final at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, live this afternoon. A switch in the Waterford team, I understand, Donald.
That's right. Noel Crowley, who was hampered by a leg injury in midweek, has gone to left half forward. Shane Ahern coming out. I think Waterford are looking for a bit more pressure from the centre field area, but Tipper handling things very well, and the inside forwards are particularly sharp.
Let's see how the switch works. It's Joe Hayes on the 40 for Tipperary, coming into midfield to collect possession. Up towards Cormac Bonner, having enough time to adjust, get it onto his hand, play it to English, who's looking for it always. And again he judges it to a tee and puts it over the bar. Well, he certainly is the match winner at the moment. Cormac Bonner was the one who set it up for him. Finding his feet a bit more now, Cormac Bonner, and linking up well with his two inside forwards. Jimmy Powers puck out. Colin Bonner climbing high against Shane Ahern now, remember, since that switch made by Waterford. That's from Lahey up towards Joe Hayes, broken up by Ger Fitzpatrick for Waterford, down to Paudie Prendergast. Two shoulders, but he manages to kick it forward in towards Liam O'Connor, playing in the unaccustomed position of centre half forward for him. Conall Bonner going back to gather. Pulled forward by Joe Hayes for Tipperary towards Pat Fox. That's a terrific catch, getting there ahead of Beresford. He's got the pace, he's got men inside. He's going for the score himself. Right by the goalkeeper, under some pressure. And he really was closed down there. And it's running around, and Beresford, and the referee's whistle has sound, and it's going to be a free out. The goalkeeper was challenged inside in the small square as he was making the clearance out. And a free out for Waterford, but a potentially very dangerous situation following that superb catch by the number 13 there, Pat Fox. Damien Byrne, the free taker. And really Waterford yet to find their rhythm in this match, one feels. Tip closing them down quickly, applying pressure, carrying it forward in a 15-man game. That's Joe Hayes inside to Fox, looking for a goal here. And he's put it over the bar. The two corner forwards have now contributed 6 points in all. 4 from English, 2 from Fox, and that's Tip's entire contribution as Hayes got it inside to his very sharp on the left corner forward. Might have had a goal, but was content with a point. So the game going as predicted so far. Noel Crowley getting it forward there towards Kieran Delahunty. Unable to connect, however. Conor O'Donovan under pressure by Billy Sullivan. And that's going to be a Waterford sideline ball. Noel Crowley going across to take it. Pat Murphy there, the full forward on O'Connor this afternoon, has hit 5 goals and a point in the championship so far. Just an indication there of the breeze favouring Waterford. It's not a particularly strong one, however, as Crowley cuts it in well. Colin Bonner can't hold on to it, but he was being impeded in any case, and he's got a nasty little shot or a hit on the right arm that time. Picked up a little injury. Ken Hogan then taking the big stick with him out from the goal to take the free from the 13-metre line. Cross towards Michael Cleary, added to over there, but unable to get the direction inside to the tips inside forwards. Tipperary with 4 wides in the opening 18.5 minutes of this centenary Munster final, but they have 6 points, leading by 4 at the moment. John Lahey. Declan Ryan here is starred for the Tipperary under-21s against Cork in the Munster under-21 final here 10 days ago. And that's a lovely turn by English once again. Peter Welch having a real handful against Nicky English. But that's not surprising because English is a very special performer. Cleary trying to link up inside with some of the other forwards. Coulter there too for Waterford. And it's taken out over the line there by Anthony Coulter. Steaming hot conditions down there for Timmy Sheehan and his colleagues. And that's from the collision with Nicky English early on. Declan Ryan to take this sideline ball. Again aimed towards English. Still pursued by Peter Welch. Cross towards Colin Bonner, really opening up that one with an enterprising lob outside 45 metres. Colin Bonner wants to do well, of course, because as we were saying earlier, he earns his living as a hurling coach down in Waterford in the regional college. This is Anthony Coulter, under-21 player, towards Billy Sullivan, another under-21 player. That's got in towards Pat Murphy. There too is Conor O'Donovan. Crowley there. The shot, the save, brilliantly by Ken Hogan. Best piece of goalkeeping in the match so far. That's come out to Noel Sheehy. A good long relieving clearance from Sheehy. Missed by Paudie Prendergast. The foul there on the Tipperary man. Joe Hayes complaining that the referee might have given an advantage to Lahey that time. It really is a very colourful and very noisy scene as we watch that last piece of action as it came out from O'Donovan. Watch Crowley turn beautifully, and Hogan got down very smartly for a big man. This is the resultant free on the 65-metre line. Paul Delaney the taker. Over the head of Pat Ryan. Into Cleary, and it's over the bar. Michael Cleary the scorer. No goals so far, and only 2 of the 99 finals so far failed to produce a goal. That was in 63 Waterford against Tip, and 78 Cork against Clare. Kieran Delahunty racing to take that puck out, but followed over there by Conal Bonner. Pat Ryan. Waterford still continue to be rather tentative. Anthony Coulter. Billy Sullivan. Hoping they can get some breaks. That's Sullivan. Waterford needing a score. And he supplies it. It's a 3rd point for Waterford. Billy Sullivan, the under-21 player, the man who contributes it. It's 4 points the margin again. Added to by Declan Ryan in the air, in towards Cormac Bonner. Nice turn, waiting for that ball to come in. Byrne committed himself too quickly, back to Cormac Bonner again, and into the side netting. Tip fans thought that was already on its way. Tip with a very nice blended attack at the moment. Cormac Bonner there to use his fine physique to trouble the Waterford defence. And sharpshooters like English and Fox about to apply the finish. Bobby Ryan back in the thick of that action. Conall Byrne with a lovely steal from a hesitant Kieran Delahunty. This is Conall Bonner again. Remember the fine point he got against Limerick? Well, marked down, went down as another. Bonner with his fine contribution. A lovely steal initially ahead of Kieran Delahunty and an absolutely flawless finish. It's 8 points to 3 in just 19 years of age. Once again they wait for it on the half-back line. There was a push that time by Bonner on Shane Ahern, even though Conall Bonner, the second of the tribe playing this afternoon in the Tip colours, was waiting for it. So Kieran Delahunty to take the free. He's taken over the free-taking duties from a clearly unfit Noel Crowley, who's now playing on the left half-forward position. Taken by Delahunty, but put wide. A reasonable chance, fluffed by Waterford, and so it remains 8 points to 3. Certainly a crowd, I would estimate, around about 35,000 in real barbecue conditions. Michael Cleary tussling over there with Pat Ryan, hooking Ryan's first effort as he links up with Kieran Delahunty, who now is quite clearly playing out around left half forward. Colin Bonner, he's been so busy at midfield, fouled as he was taking that one forward, and a free to Tipperary. But certainly there has been so much to admire about this Tipperary team. Hot favourites coming into this match, and they did well to guard against complacency. Conall Bonner, high up into the ozone layer, touched down by Declan Byrne, out towards Ger Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick adding to it beautifully down towards Liam O'Connor, who hasn't really got moving so far. That was a wild swing across Bobby Ryan's arm, and the referee quite correctly penalises Liam O'Connor, and it's going to be a free out for Tipperary. Hasn't really settled down at all in what is a relatively new position for him, centre forward. His natural spot, I feel, is centre half back. Paul Delaney from Rosscray, the taker of this free, which is inside his own 65-metre line. High delivery, struck well inside to Cormac Bonner. Couldn't quite hold on to it, otherwise it was a very promising attack. Pat Ryan blocked down by Pat Fox, has possession, trying to link up with John Lahey. Timmy Sheehan reads it well, taking it away from the right half-back position. Under pressure, too much pressure, the referee decides, and a free to Waterford. Sheehan is doing well. But Waterford, from their point of view so far, with some few good individual performances to date, but really the entire team has got to knit a little better. And that's the Waterford dugout down there. Damien Burns, long, lengthy free. Comes down towards Noel Crowley, out towards Anthony Quarter. Shane Ahern picking it up outside the 20-metre line, linking it forward to Crowley. Crowley trying to bustle his way forward, looking for a goal for Waterford. Stopped somehow, the referee signals a penalty! A penalty for Waterford! This could turn this match around somewhat. 26 minutes into the first half. Crowley was involved, Shane Ahern was involved. It was Crowley who took it forward. Watch the hefty challenge there by... yes, he was held all right, and the referee says it's a penalty. The penalty taker will be Shane Ahern. Ken Hogan, the goalkeeper, has on the goal line his fullback, Conor O'Donovan, and also Paul Delaney. Shane Ahern, his side, trailing by 5 points in the centenary Munster hurling final. This, a vital and dramatic moment in the first half. A game without goals so far. Hogan is poised. Ahern strike, and it's put over the bar. He put it over the crossbar. I'm not too sure if it was absolutely deliberate or not. He really did approach it well. Watch it once again and make up your own minds with this one. Was he going for a goal? Well, I half think he might have been. Possibly right up into the top right-hand corner, but it didn't quite go there. It's 8 points to 4. Lahey picking this one up delightfully. Lovely skills from the young player. Again, it's targeted across towards Pat Fox. Having quite an afternoon with Beresford, he didn't know quite where that ball was going. Gets back, makes the recovery. That's down to Noel Crowley, and we understand that Waterford are preparing to bring on a sub very shortly. Noel Sheehy trying to take it out of defence. Billy Sullivan here, and passing it wide, or intending to link up with Anthony Coulter. Bobby Ryan standing in isolation. Uncharacteristic error. It's Paul Delaney who covers the flat for him up towards English. The two corner forwards not playing in the corner, but playing right up and down the two wing channel positions and getting a lot of good position. What about the substitute, Donald O'Grady? Seems to me like it's Jerry Connors who's coming on. Jerry Connors is the player who's coming on. Played in the championship so far. The 31-year-old then makes his introduction into the 1989 Munster Hurling final. Connors has gone into the full forward line, and let's just see what the adjustments are. Liam O'Connor's going into the full forward line. Donald O'Grady, can you sort it out for us?
I'm not quite sure really. No, Waterford making number switches. They seem to be bringing Noel Crowley back to midfield, and Shane Hurd to centre forward, but I'm not quite sure who they're taking off. It may be one of the... It's a full forward, in fact, it's Pat Murphy from Tallow.
Yes, we've got him here in picture, and he's making his way off, replaced by Jerry Connors. And as we were watching that one, the ball has gone over the bar from the free. Paul Delaney, the free taker, that's gone sailing over the bar, increasing Tipperary's lead, 9 points to 4. 6 minutes to go to half-time. Sun into the eyes of Declan Ryan as he faces this one with Paudie Prendergast there. Waterford then restructuring their team late in this first half. John Lahey playing it into space. What a good run by Michael Cleary here, getting there ahead of Pat Ryan, taking it in his stride, and he's put it over for his second point. That's a lovely score by Michael Cleary. Remember, he got 4 points when coming on as a sub in the league semi-final, and added to that with a goal and 3 against Galway in the league final. Fine young player today in his championship debut. Jimmy Power's puck out on the 65-metre line. Kieran Delahunty and Pat Ryan getting inside. Liam O'Connor now operating at full forward. He's fouled, and it's going to be a free in. They continue, the ball's in the net, but I'm sure Ken Hogan may have just lost his concentration a little as he heard the whistle. Goal doesn't count. It's going to be a free in for Waterford for that foul. Kieran Delahunty is going to be the free taker, as it would seem. Noel Crowley is definitely back in midfield, and I wonder what the Waterford fans think of that. Perhaps after the little siesta back in there at corner forward, he's recovered and can play a fuller part in this championship clash. So Kieran Delahunty outside the 20-metre line. That's high and that's over the bar. The intent was unmistakable. It's 10 points to 5. Waterford's first point from a free, incidentally, so 5 points the margin. Ken Hogan seeking out the centre forward Joe Hayes very successfully across to Michael Cleary, trying to get it up into his hand, watched very vigilantly by Pat Ryan, who was fouled by Joe Hayes, and it's a free for Waterford. Joe Hayes, the number 11 there, committing that foul on Pat Ryan after he'd beaten Michael Cleary. Making a very good job of the centre forward position this year, having played there successfully in the latter stages of the league. Damien Byrne is the free taker, coming from his full-back position to send it high down into the Waterford or Tipperary goal area. Kieran Delahunty with Jerry Connors here, a first chance to impress since coming on as a sub across towards Shane Ahern. Paul Delaney there to receive that break of the ball and complete the clearance out around midfield. Ger Fitzpatrick tussling over there with Joe Hayes. Fitzpatrick again, full of intent. Good run. Bad pass, however. Conall Bonner fouled, and held there by Kieran Delahunty, and a free to Tipperary, which suits their chances very nicely indeed. The free taken quickly. Again, English is the target. And I wonder will they consider a change in the marking of Nicky English, because he's now sent over what is his 5th point of the match, and only one of those has come from a free. 11 points to 5, 2 clear goals the difference, and the Tipperary fans rejoicing there behind the, really having quite a handful in keeping tabs on Nicky English this afternoon. When English played against Damien Byrne last year in the league semi-final, he gave him a horrid afternoon as well, I remember. Here's Kieran Delahunty, yet to really get motoring. Shane Ahern likewise, looking for a bit of freedom. Tipperary not allowing them that kind of latitude. That's Noel Crowley. Colin Bonner waiting for it, doing what a good midfielder should do, making himself available at all times. Likewise Bobby Ryan with a good deliberate run through. The referee doesn't allow the flow of the ball on this occasion, wanting to penalise Paudie Prendergast. The notebook's out again for that foul on Bobby Ryan, and Paudie Prendergast becomes the 4th player to have his name taken in what is the centenary Munster hurling final. Today playing in his 4th championship match. Bobby Ryan incidentally playing in what is his 20th Munster championship match. Paul Delaney, the free taker outside his own 65-metre line, low enough trajectory on that, in towards Joe Hayes, off his knee it goes, in towards Cormac Bonner, tussling with Damien Byrne, comes out towards Joe Hayes, across it goes to Michael Cleary, and that's over the bar. Cleary's 3rd, all from play. That's terrific finishing by the man who couldn't play in the semi-final because of a groin injury, but he's really making his presence felt here this afternoon. Getting back to cover that quick puck out across to Noel Crowley. Kieran Delahunty, his side 7 points behind. That's nice. Stopped by Ken Hogan. It's gone down on the goal line, and it's gone for a 65. The game's very first. They tussle away for it down there, but that came in from Kieran Delahunty. A good piece of goalkeeping by Ken Hogan. The sun was in his eyes. So the first 65 of the match. Here's that save again. Remember, the sun is a very strong sun, right into his eyes, and he did well, not blinded on that occasion, tapped it down. Conor O'Donovan put it behind. Kieran Delahunty, the one entrusted with the 65, with about 20 seconds on my watch to go to the end of the 35 minutes, and he's put it wide. A good chance. A 4th wide by Waterford. Tipperary with 5 wides in the first half. They've missed a number of those long-range frees like that. So no goals to show for the first half thus far. Ken Hogan, the goalkeeper, ready to take the puck out. Timmy Sheehan. A match which has been full of enterprise so far, full of endeavour, full of honest commitment. Tipperary looking the stronger, but Waterford very much in the match. Pat Ryan, down it goes towards Jerry Connors, trying to give it in play, did so successfully. It's a goal! A goal by Liam O'Connor in injury time. 4 points the difference now. Waterford getting the goal at a psychologically important moment. Connors did exceedingly well, getting there ahead of John Heffernan and played it down into space, and O'Connor applied himself sufficiently to get the final tap in. The referee has called for the ball. It's half-time. What a vital time to get a goal. In the 100th Munster hurling final, the Waterford fans ecstatic following that goal by Liam O'Connor. Half-time score. It's Tipperary 12 points, Waterford 1-5. We've got the makings now of a cracking good second half. We'll be right back. So will it be Tip or will it be Waterford? And straight away there's a hurley broken in a fairly ferocious challenge that time on Colin Bonner right across his thigh. And Noel Crowley there, the one who broke the hurley. That was straight from the throw-in. Just watch it again. Ball came in, ball missed them, and it was a late challenge. Paul Delaney to take the free, first one of the second half. Sending it high, and he's put it over the bar. First real long-range point free to be pointed so far in the game has come in the very first minute of the second half. Paul Delaney second. Tipperary now at this early stage in the second half will want to firmly impose their will upon this game again and just dilute any chance that Waterford might have of staging a recovery. Ger Fitzpatrick trying to take that one neatly and doing so from a ruck of players. Blocked down by John Lahey, collected in midfield by a very alert Colin Bonner. What a good run forward. The pass was needed inside and instead he made a heavy challenge and there was an argument, the referee arguing with Timmy Sheehan, and there's a further 10-metre penalty, and Colin Bonner, who's received a couple of blows to the leg. We've only played a minute and a half of the second half. Free to Tipperary. Nicky English will be the taker. A very scoreable position, should be a point. That's confirmed. That's his sixth, and 2 of those have come from frees. Damien Byrne continues to take the frees and the puck outs out of defence for Waterford. That's neatly caught by Shane Ahern. Getting there ahead of Bobby Ryan. Inside towards Billy Sullivan. Noel Sheehy gets out there first, looks over his right shoulder to see was he being hooked, kicked it away. Judiciously down towards John Lahey. Timmy Sheehan applies pressure, but it's Lahey who gets it forward, only as far as Ger Fitzpatrick, the centre half back, into the middle. Paudie Prendergast with a good left-handed catch. Gets it onto his right-hand side, swings it forward into the danger area. Damien Byrne tussling down there. John Heffernan getting it out towards Colin Bonner. Paudie Prendergast. The release of the ball, only as far as Paul Delaney. Whipped down far. Ger Fitzpatrick. Losing the stick and having to use the foot. It comes out, however, to Nicky English, waiting for the errors to be made and penalising that kind of indiscretion with a superb strike. And they simply mount up now. He's got 7 out of Tipperary's score. So Tip with 3 points so far in the second half and just 3 minutes gone. John Lahey. What a good run forward by the number 12. Well ahead of Coulter. Finishing with the hand and over the bar. 4 points inside 3.5 minutes. A terrific finish by Lahey. His first point of the match. The 4th player among the forwards to score with a great run. A run of a good 45 metres, I would think. Knew he might well have been hooked by the number 10, Anthony Coulter. So he opted a hand pass from outside the 20 metres and it sailed over the crossbar. Back at midfield. Kieran Delahunty dropping it up the ground stroke as far as Jerry Connors, the substitute, who set up the goal for Liam O'Connor. John Heffernan down towards Joe Hayes. Ger Fitzpatrick one-handed into the middle, only as far as John Lahey. Nice turn of direction, trying to pick out Cormac Bonner, it would seem. Watched very tightly, and that's Beresford, the best of the full back line so far. Out as far as Lahey again, really now becoming more and more impressive. He's floored. Referee says play on, allowing an advantage, and Joe Hayes becomes the 5th of the Tipperary forwards to score. The only one who hasn't scored so far is Cormac Bonner, but he set up a lot of good chances. Well, what a turnabout that's been. 5 points, and we've only got 4 minutes and a little over 40 seconds gone in the second half. Kieran Delahunty looking for a reply for Waterford. Down towards O'Connor, the goal scorer, trying to get it up onto his stick. Referee saw who was being pushed. It's going to be a free in, something which Billy Sullivan realises as he looks inside, and the 2 men involved there, Liam O'Connor has already been booked in the game, and Conor O'Donovan, and the referee reaching for the notebook, and O'Connor protesting because he knows that if the referee has to speak to him again, well, the referee not taking any further names, deciding that there was a foul committed by both players, so dropping it in. Here's Cleary. Cormac Bonner out by a hesitant Peter Welch. Nicky English without the stick, neat pass with the heel, but there was a foul. The referee spotted it, and the referee's been busy in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Yet another free in for Tipperary. And Waterford now committing far too many indiscretions like that, and Tip now simply drifting away from their opponents. Nicky English deciding there that he'll be the one who'll take it. The message would seem to be from Joe Hayes, and I'm watching off camera. Come on, lads, let's fully impose our will on this game as English sticks over his 8th point. So 8 out of 18 is Nicky English's tally. Well, we said at the beginning of this match that inside forward line of Fox, Cormac Bonner and Nicky English had match-winning potential, and that's been the way so far. Anthony Coulter trying to get some leeway over there with Noel Crowley. Goes off a Tipperary player, off Paul Delaney, and it's going to be a Waterford sideline ball. Crowley winding himself up for the cut. Paul Delaney getting under it. Pressure applied on him by Shane Ahern. Bobby Ryan was fully determined, full of intent, and another sideline ball for Waterford. A Waterford side yet to score in the opening 7 minutes of the second half. Crowley the taker to Kieran Delahunty. Sharp angle, but it's over the bar. The first point for Waterford in the second half has come just over 7 minutes into the half by Kieran Delahunty, who's now contributed 2 points. Colin Bonner trying to read that one well with Noel Crowley, fiercely committed, and oh, that was a wild swap by Crowley that time. And the referee has the notebook out again. Colin Bonner, I think, may well have come across his path initially, and Crowley retaliated. And so the notebook out once again, and this time I wonder what the referee will decide, because that was full of intent, and he's sent off. Noel Crowley dismissed by referee Willie Horgan. 8 minutes into the second half. This was the incident again. Colin Bonner slightly off balance as he was going across to try and receive that to puck out from Ken Hogan. And just watch what happens as he falls down onto the ground, Bonner. That was a swipe, a dangerous one by Crowley, and the referee says, off you go, number 8. So the player who was injured, who might not have made it in the first place, ends a rather miserable afternoon by being sent off, and Paul Delaney once again punishes that error in decisive fashion. He's got a 3rd point, and 2 of those have